Welcome. I am Sampstra Games and I'm going to walk you through religion, custom content, and government in Field of Glory Kingdoms. This video is sponsored by Slytherin. So when you click on a region, you can see the religion spread of this region. So for example, here you can see that the religion is Catholic. I am Christian Orthodox, which you can see by hovering up here. And if you have people of different religion, this can cause a lot of problems. Mainly this can increase unrest and it can also lower productivity, especially in the piety category. For example, if you have a heretic, which we'll talk about momentarily, or someone of a completely different religion, so like a Muslim, if you're like Christian or a pagan, they will give you zero productivity in the piety category. If you have someone who is like, if it's a Christian, they're Catholic, you're Orthodox, or if it's a Muslim, they're Shia and you're Sunni, they will give you a lowered productivity. So here you can see that this person is giving me 8 productivity because they're Catholic Christian, while normal Orthodox Christian would give me 20. So you can see this is a huge difference. Now, there is a chance to convert a person to your religion. You can see it either in general up here when you hover over the religion, so you can see that I have a 5% chance to convert someone who is Christian Catholic, or when you look at a specific person, you can see here, for example, here I have 5.31% chance to convert this peasant. How does this work? Every turn, a random population that can be converted is picked in a region, and then there is done a conversion check in that region. So you don't know if you're going to be converting a freeman or a peasant or your clergy here. It's just a random choice. How is this conversion chance calculated? Well, the base is 3%, and then there are a couple things that increase and decrease it. If you have a high population, you get a penalty of 1% per 10 people. So here I have 21, so I have a negative of 2% already. So from 3 I'll go to 1. But every heretic counts as 4 people. So if you have a lot of heretics, it's a lot harder to convert the people to your religion. Every 20 piety points increase your chance of conversion by 1%. Your ruler piety points increase your conversion chance, and your governor. This is especially important because it incentivizes you to create a domain or create a province, like here for example Western Hungary, and then give a governor that has high amount of piety, because here for example it gives me extra 30% relative chance to convert a population. If you have an army, every 100 combat points give you 1% chance to convert a population. The conversion chance here does not include the army conversion, so this is on top. So for example, here you can see that I have knights with combat power 561, so this gives me extra 5% chance to convert somebody. But if with the army conversion, the problem is that if you succeed in the conversion, there is a secondary roll, and with this there is 35% chance that this person will die instead of being converted, so watch out. Another thing that can happen is called conversion at distance. So if you have a region with very low piety, and the regions around it with very high piety, they can basically convert the people to this other religion. And this can cause tension between the nations. And there's also a regional decision, convert to a new faith, which allows you to convert someone to your own faith. Let's talk about heretics. So heretics, like we already talked about before, they lower the productivity significantly. They also increase chance of revolt risk, give you high unrest, and etc. They're pretty bad. If you have a lot of heretics, it's easier to get more heretics because it's hard to convert people to your own religion. You can see your heretic generation by hovering over this religion. A heretic generation is, like I said, increased if you have other heretics, and also if you have low piety per population. So basically you can see that my piety generation per population is very low, 0 points. So this is calculated by the number of piety points that you get divided by your population. So for example, here you can see that I have 35 divided by 20 is sort of rounded to 2 points. So this is why my piety generation per population is low. Average is 4, and basically the more below average you get, the more it increases the chance of heretic generation. If you look up here, for example, you can see that even though this region is completely Orthodox, there is currently no heretics, nobody who is of different religion, I still have very low piety per population because I'm only gaining 25 in my F20 population, so I have a 1% chance to gain a heretic. Religion can also cause tension between factions. Minor tension can happen if your relationship is already 25 or under and you're of different faith, or if one of you is a Muslim and the other is crusading, or you are Christian and the other is jihading. Minor tension means that existing treaties will be observed but no others can be added, and major tensions happens if one of you is crusading or jihading and the other is the target. Here you can see the culture spread. You can have a chance to convert a person to your own culture through your nobles, and basically a person with different culture can give you higher honors. So you can see I have a East Slavic Orthodox, so he's perfect, he's all mine, 5 productivity gives 2 to unrest, and this person is also Orthodox but they are of a different culture and their unrest is 4. Click here on the left top to get the religious panels. Here you can see who owns all the holy cities. So for Christians we've got Jerusalem, Constantinople and Rome, and for the Muslims we have Jerusalem, Medina and Mecca. Here you can see the most pious Christians and the most pious Muslims. For Christians, the leader is the Papal States, and for Muslim, the leader is the champion of faith, which is whoever Muslim nation is the most pious. These two can call a crusade or jihad respectively. When the Papal State will call a crusade, you will see it down here on the bottom. So currently we have an ongoing crusade. The target is Zengids, and these are the crusaders. You can join the crusade by talking with the Papal States. The benefit of joining a crusade is that you do not have to pay the authority cost for attacking these targets as you normally do when you start a war. You automatically gain passage of rights between yourself and the other crusaders. So you want to click over here to jump to the Papal State, and you want to see your relationship, and here you simply click enter a crusade. You'll also gain authority every turn while you joined this crusade. We have joined the crusade, and you can also see that the crusade is happening up here, and you can see a chance to be called off this turn. You can also call a crusade through regional decision. You can only get this regional decision if you get enough of a relationship with the Papal States and you're very pious. And there's actually an ongoing crusade right now, but I'm not even a part of it. But I can still use this. So I've decided I want to destroy the Hamadi dynasty, so we're going to click over here. And then here you can see that right now, the only target of the crusade are Zengids. But next turn, we're going to become crusaders, and the second target is going to be Hamadid. And now everybody else is going to start a war against them too. And this can be really useful if the enemy is really strong and you need to get rid of them. Well, you can start a crusade, and lots of people are going to help. Now with jihad, everything is analogous except with the Muslims instead of the Christians, and instead of the Papal State, you'll be communicating with champion of the faith. A Catholic nation can be excommunicated if their relationship with papacy is 25 or less, and their authority is less than 50 above what the Papal States have. As a result, they will lose relationship with all Christian nations, including Orthodox, and they can be a target of a crusade. Now this game also has power groups, which are nations that will survive even if they have no regions. These are, among other things, knightly orders like the Sword Brethren. The knightly orders appear as they appear historically, and they will place a building inside your territory, and this building will basically be stealing off some of your money for them, and they will also spawn units. The knightly orders automatically have right of passage with all other Christian nations, and what can happen over time is that they can spread to other regions where they also get new buildings, or they can upgrade their own building, or they can get more units. Eventually what can even happen is that they can form state within a state and actually gain regions, as you can see over here with the Templar chapter. You can also fund a holy order through regional decisions. It has to be a Catholic one. So here I might look and decide, you know what, I want to make Venice a little bit weaker, so let me put a holy order there, and they will lose a little bit of their money because the holy order will tax it away. And here you can see that there is now a Knights Templar Preceptory, and a Templar's army has been spawned here. Now what's really cool about these games is that not every nation plays the same. Now here you can click on round trains, and here on the left you can see what are like the specific differences for your nation. For example, Rus is interesting because they have different tier 2 fortification buildings than everybody else. They're very prone to civil wars. They have sort of a slightly different population setup and chances to get freemen and etc. Now, when you pick the faction, you can see the different modifiers. So, for example, Venice has a lot of focus on trade and commercial enclaves. So, with commercial enclaves, you can place buildings into other people's regions, and it can give you a huge amount of money. Also, the game gives you gameplay tips on how you should play with this specific nation, or potentially with a set of nations that behave similar. So I think this is really, really cool because, like I said, there can be quite big differences. France is interesting because of vassals and they have really good knights. Fatimids is especially interesting because they will often be a target of crusades, the assimilation feature where you don't get as much unrest from people with different religion, or defender of the arts where even lower education levels can give you more legacy. Next, let's talk about government. So you can click up here on your national panel and then here, and you can see what government you are. Right now I'm stable principality. So the first part is talking about stability. There are 5 levels of stability: fragmented, unstable, stable, ascending, and young. Young is always what you jump to when you jump to the next level. There are 3 civilization tiers and 2 levels in every tier, except in tier 3 sometimes there are 3 levels. Currently I am in tier 2, as you can see over here, and my next step is going to ascending principality. For that I need 5 progress tokens. Then from ascending I can jump to the next tier, to grand principality. We have 5 progress tokens, so we're now in ascending principality. So now we have an option to change the government to the next realm level, which is grand principality. We're simply going to click on this, and this is going to allow us to confirm the evolution of our nation. And you can see that we now jump to a young grand principality. Once you get to the highest level, which in my case is called Ascending Empire, and you have 5 progress token, you can jump to 20 turn Renaissance, which gives you a huge amount of bonuses to legacy and other things. If you get 5 aging tokens, you decrease to the appropriate levels. So for example, from stable, I would decrease to unstable. You can see where you're gonna jump to over here. So this is where I progress, this is where I decrease. On top of that, certain countries might need to own a specific region in order to progress. So here I need to control Kiev. You also need to have a certain amount of regions. So here you can see that, for example, I need to own 36 regions to be able to do the realm change. The different government types are named differently for different regions, and they also have slightly different attributes. So for example, the demesne sizes required for realm change, or how much demesne size you can have in order to gain authority, will be different for different countries. The government type then affects things like legacy generation. It can give you different bonuses if you're in high civilization tiers, but it can also give you different negatives. For example, if you're unstable, you might get in turmoil, which gives you a lot of negative effects. On the other hand, if you're ascending, you get some good stuff like more character pools, regional loyalty bonus, but also some bad stuff like authority and stewardship penalty, because not everybody is happy with the change. Now the game also has special events like scripted invasions, for example by the Mongols. Alright, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, write it down in the comments and watch the others. Bye bye!